Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video where I talk about levels and see whether or not I like them. And today's video topic is about guilty pleasure levels. I hope you guys aren't tired of this type of intro because I've been doing it for a while now. Basically, when there's a level that I very much want to hate, but I can't help but love it for some reason. There are a lot of factors that goes on for a level to be a guilty pleasure. Obviously, the level has to be bad in my eyes, but at the same time, it has to have that it factor where I can't help but love the level. Once again, these are my opinion, and if you don't agree, then more power to you. And since we're technically talking about bad levels, I might as well say that don't send hate to the level or the creator. Again, even though I will be talking about bad levels, I absolutely love them for what they are. In fact, go send love to the levels and creators for making the masterpieces I will be talking about. Well, except for one, but we'll get to that later. And with that out of the way, let's start the video starting with... Now picture this, you are walking through a very intimidating looking manor. It doesn't seem like anyone has inhabited this place in a long time. Hell, it might even be haunted with how old it looks. Now with all of that being said, what do you think the song choice is? Okay, hold on. I know that this is part of the Hell series, and their whole shtick is that they're based off of old, impossible levels made by Son, which, objection, turns out to not even be a real level from Son. But still, I know this is supposed to be part of the Hell series, and that's the whole reason on why Jumper was used. But couldn't you just make an exception for this level? Well, I'm actually glad that they didn't, because they unintentionally made one of the funniest levels ever, and I love it. As for the level itself, I actually don't hate it, but boy does it show its age. It is very clear when this was made, especially the parts from Jonathan GD where you can really tell that this was his early 2.1 era decoration. Zephyr's part really feels like an old art level, but it unintentionally adds to the atmosphere of the level. The of Seas, I think that's how you pronounce it, has a part where it looks like it came straight out of Necromancer. And Chase. It's Chase. I don't hate Chase, but when I think of creators I haven't thought of in a while, it's Chase. And not only that, the theming in the level is a bit odd. Don't get me wrong, it is a cool theme, and this is my favorite level in the Hell series. But also a haunted manor type theme on the Hell series? I get that you're trying to do something new for this one, but still. Candles, spooky windows, and chandeliers doesn't really translate to Hell for me. But I think that adds to the charm of the level being the odd one out, and it actually feels refreshing to see after the whole mess that is the Hell series. And again, the fact that it used Jumper, one of the most jolliest songs in GD, is hilarious. But I actually think that using any other song to try and be more serious about it would actually hurt the level for me because it won't have the same kick and charm. And yeah, this is why the Hell Trinity is a guilty pleasure for me. A lot of people probably don't know this level because it's never and probably will never be released, but oh boy am I excited to tell you about this level. You know how people complain about Mega Collapse and how a lot of the times this style just doesn't match at all due to the creator's variant creating style? This is my absolute favorite example of this. It is such an interesting piece of mess. Almost none of the styles fit each other. Now, when you see a level like this, you probably think it's made by creators not a lot of people in the community know, which, fair enough. Maybe this is like their first Mega Collab and they don't really know what they're doing. No, there are some notable names in here that some people might know. Like, look at this. You got Kermal, Chase, Disp, Quasar, TMN Gaming, and... oh no. Okay, maybe this level not being released is a not so bad idea after all. But still, this level is a messy masterpiece. We first start off with Cam Dem Cool's part, which looks pretty typical for a Geometry Dash level. And immediately, we go to Kermal. You can already see the non-connection between these two parts. Come on, a typical style for a level and then the unique style of Kermal just doesn't fit, but I love it for that. Chase and this part are pretty normal. I do like how they look, and this is one of the only parts that does feel like they connect with each other. But nothing could have prepared me for when I looked at the next part for the first time, which is Quasar's part. This is probably the worst part in this level, but at the same time, it is my absolute favorite part. Here's the thing, I love Quasar's creating styles. It is one of the most unique styles I've ever seen in Geometry Dash. But god, does it not translate well to a mega collab. It is so all over the place. There's like 8 different styles in the span of just 20 seconds. It is so bad, but yet I can't help but love it for what it is. And then it just casually transitioned into TMN's part like nothing ever happened. That being said, TMN probably has my least favorite part. I kinda don't like how the glow was used because unlike Quasar where it has that charm when he used it, the one in TMN's part just feels like someone just figured out what glow is. And then we got some pretty normal parts after that, although I will say that Mr. PPS more modern looking part being between H2O and Wolfen's part, which are very typical and usual level like, is pretty funny. God, this level is such a mess, but it is a very beautiful mess and I want you guys to experience what it was like for me to see this level for the first time. Thinking Space has everything that makes me want to hate it. Jank 2.0 movements, random invisible portals, messy and cluttered decoration, unnecessary use of keys and locks, not a common one but a random percentage mentioned, mirror portals, and of course, all 2.0 reverse gameplay. These are all aspects that can potentially make Thinking Space my absolute least favorite level of all time. And with all that being said, would you believe me that this level makes me sad and I love it a lot? I'm only half joking, but the reason I say this is because Thinking Space made me reminisce of the old days of the 2.0 era. I was like 9 to 10 years old when 2.0 was out and I was just a jolly little boy playing levels from that era despite all of the problems 2.0 levels have. Now granted, I was nowhere as good as back then as I am now, and I was a mobile player, and some notable players might have quit Geometry Dash even if it's temporary. But still, I was just a jolly little kid back then. And Thinking Space just reminds me of the joy I had at the time with its rough and messy feeling the level gives off. Reminds me of simpler times. And also, I miss being happy, man. I'm not trying to vent to you all, but man, what happened? I was just a scrawny little kid that can't even beat a demon, thinking I'm gonna be the best creator ever, and I'm gonna collab with Funny Game and Vibrant. But now I'm 18 and going to college, and I have 0 creator points. I wish I can relive those times, man. You know how the chorus in Stressed Out by 21 Pilots goes like, wish we could turn back time to the good old days and all of that? That whole chorus hit me in the deep right now, and I don't even like the song. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, funny black and white impossible level. Besides all that nostalgia rant I just had, I think the other reason I love it is because it does so many things wrong. It unintentionally made one of the funniest levels ever and one of the rawest levels ever, and I love it for that. Now I know this saying 2 wrongs don't make a right, but in this case I think it did make a right, and actually it's multiple wrongs, so that saying does not apply here. But yeah, I just love Thinking Space. Putting Stereo Demonist in last because this one I actually have experience with and most of the guilty pleasure is in the gameplay, but we'll talk about that later. Let's state out the obvious first, the decoration. Yeah, nowadays this level don't look too good. The structuring is pretty weird. A lot of the times the blocks are used in a weird way where you can argue it's an artistic choice, but also it looks a bit amateurish. The art, however, is a pretty interesting talking point, since this is one of the very first art levels, like the rain in the first cube, the hand in the UFO, the little guys, the sword, and the big guy in the ship. And it's pretty interesting how Majako did art back then with its limitations. Did it age well? Maybe not, but it's an interesting piece of Geometry Dash history. Now, the real reason I want to put this level here. The gameplay. This has a lot of gameplay that shouldn't be fun. A potential frame perfect in the beginning cube. Jumping from those little specks, I don't know what the technique is called. Some of the weirdest pad and orb timing with so many mirror portals. Jeez man, how much do you need? A UFO spam, yeah, everyone loves that. The most awkward cube timings known to man, and that last ship I hate. And with all of that being said, why is this such a joy to play? I am not kidding, this is some of the most fun experiences I've ever had with a level. None of the parts, well except for maybe 2, has ever made me angry. And I think the reason for that is the fact that it's a highly nerfed version. Because when I look at the original unnerfed Stereo Demonist, and while I'm no pro player, yeah, no, this looks horrible to play. But I'll be damned, heavily nerfing the level and you get a genuinely fun level. Even the UFO spam was fun. How does that even work? I wanted to hate this level so bad because whoa, old level, ooh, very awkward gameplay, ooh. But man, I have to be honest, I just love this level. And that is why Stereo Demonist is an absolute guilty pleasure for me. Well, that's the end of the video. Did you agree or disagree with my picks? Maybe there's also a level that you feel qualifies for this video. Leave them in the comments below and maybe I'll check them out and put it in a sequel if I ever make one. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 2K by the end of the year, so like pretty please. But anyways, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.